Hello, I'm Jana, and welcome back to the Crafty Corner. This week, we're going to be playing to the theme of Chalk It Up for the Funkie Junkie blog challenge. For this week's project, I'm going to be creating a card using some frosted crystal embossing powder, some of the new Tim Holtz Distress Mica spray stains, and of course, some chalk. This challenge is going to be running from September 22nd through August 5th. I hope that you'll have a chance to enter and create something for this challenge. If you'd like to see the supplies that I'm using for my make today, go ahead and pause. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. So today we're going to be experimenting with chalk. And for our foundation, we're going to be working on some of the Alcohol Ink Ranger Tim Holtz cardstock. This is a great foundation and it's going to help the chalk really pop on our card. For our card, I'm going to be using a stamp from the stamp set Floral Outline CMS 340. I'm going to be using this one. So let's go ahead and mount that on a stamping block and get our image stamped. I'm using one of the Tim Holtz acrylic stamping blocks today, and I'll be using some of the Distress embossing ink. So we're just going to quickly ink up our image, and then we're going to get into the chalky technique. So I'm using embossing powder because we're going to be using some of the Ranger embossing frosted crystal today. So let's go ahead and stamp. Tilting this quickly at an angle to make sure that I've got ink on it. And yes, I can see it shining, so that means we're all good to stamp. Okay. Push it down, apply good pressure, and lift it off. And we can see that our image has transferred nicely. I'm going to quickly grab some scrap paper. Let's sprinkle the embossing powder on. Nice. And I'm just going to quickly grab a brush to get rid of the little bits of extra powder. Not too big a deal, but I like to try to work on a clean surface. All right, that looks good. So we'll just quickly put our embossing powder back in the jar. And I'm going to grab my embossing heat tool. Okay, and we have embossed. One thing I found when embossing with frosted crystal is that you have to be very careful and not hold the heat on too long, or you're going to completely get rid of the fantastic gritty texture that is left behind when you put the powder on. Okay, this looks good. Now let's add our chalk. So I'm going to take this large chunk of chalk and we're just going to scribble over the top. This is definitely one of my favorite and most recent Tim Holtz techniques that I've been able to see during a live. So I love getting a chance to play around with this. Okay, now I'm just going to take my fingers and I'm going to smudge the chalk in. And we can now see that we've got a great outline of our flower. Okay, now I'm just going to quickly spritz this with water and let it dry. While this is drying, we're going to start shaking up our Distress Mica spray stains for a little bit of added shine and sparkle to our card. And once the bottom is clear and we don't see any more sediment, we know that our Distress mica spray stains are ready to use. So let's turn the camera just a little bit over here, and I'm going to be using this part of the media mat as a palette. I'm going to just take a mica spray stain and add a little bit onto a square. This gives me a nice easy way to see where my colors are and a quick way to dip into colors while I paint the mica spray stain onto the card. Okay, now we just need to wait a moment until this is all nice and dry. Now that the panel is dry, I'm going to be going in with the fine detail Tim Holtz water brush to add some color to these flowers. I'm going to start on the outside and work my way in. I'm going to start with the leaves, and we're just going to gently paint in between the chalk lines. The nice thing about using the black background is that it's going to help the color pop once things are all dry. Okay, while I'm painting, let's go ahead and put this part on fast forward. Okay, and here is the card now that the painting is all done. So to finish this off, we're going to be adding a sentiment to it. And to add a sentiment, I'm going to be using the label sticker set from Tim Holtz Ideology. I decided to go with the sentiment, focus on the good. And I've decided that I'm going to put that one going sideways. Okay. And the last step for card making, well, we need to add this to a card base. I have a standard card size here, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So to attach the card base, I'm just going to simply grab my ATG gun and add this to the card front. And there we go. Here is our finished card. Look at all that shine and sparkle from the Distress mica spray stains. Definitely one of my new favorites. For the mica spray stains today, I have been using Snow Flurries, Flickering Candle, Tree Lot, and Peppermint Stick. If you'd like to join in the fun at the Funkie Junkie Challenge, head over to the Funkie Junkie blog and I'll be sure to leave a link down in the description. I look forward to seeing all of your fantastic makes to the theme of Chalk It Up. And don't forget, you can also play over at Instagram. Simply hashtag us at the Funkie Junkie Challenge. So, until next time, happy crafting!